I listened to a podcast that had like interviewed like 75 different programmers all over the country about their feelings about, AI, because coders, like coding is something the AIs have, especially just in the last few months, gotten really, really good at, which doesn't surprise me because the people writing all these AI engines are programming them, and they want to use the AI to do their job so that they can do it faster. So it's no great surprise that this is a thing that is getting the initial treatment. And it was an interesting thing. By and large, most programmers were totally on board with it because they were like, this is great. It makes my job more fun. I still need to think like an engineer, but I don't have to do the grunt work of coding. And a lot of them were like, what I love is instead of coding it up one way and then realizing, oh, there would have been a better way, but I'm not going to go backwards now. They can instead say, all right, hey, agent, go spawn 10 of you. Each of you coded up, a different way, and then let me decide what the best implementation is, right? So it makes their jobs a whole lot more interesting and fun. And I can absolutely attest to this. However, there were some that even if they weren't against it, were acknowledging the fact that they're like, I am becoming de-skilled as a programmer by nature of the AI writing all my code for me.
Right, makes sense.
And there were some people that were, especially like junior programmers, people that were relatively new to the field. I don't mean to say that they're not skilled. They definitely are more skilled than me, without question. But people that are relatively new to this, only have a year or two, under their belt or whatever, saying, I can already see my skills, like I'm losing my edge because I'm not actually doing the programming.
Sure.
And if I were to have to do programming, I might not be as quick as I once was.
Makes sense.
And I was listening to this and chuckling because I was like, here's the thing. I have some experience with this de-skilling as a programmer because this has happened to me over the last 20 years. I used to code all the time. Like it was when we started like Deals on the Web, I wrote that
Built the
whole
website,
system
right?
from scratch.
Like there were database, the whole thing.
Yeah, there were no frameworks. I literally wrote it from like blank page, right? And I did the same for Mac Observer, and I did all kinds of other things. It was how you started a business. Like back then, it was like, well, you need somebody that can like whip up the back end. It's not like it is now. Although there's still, reasons to create your own back ends and do those things. But I just haven't. I got out of that. I started hiring other people to do it or whatever. And so I have become de-skilled as a programmer, not by AI, but not because of AI, but because of me. I've just gotten out of it.
Because of opportunity.
Because of opportunity. Yes.
You kept, right.
This isn't a bad thing. I'm just acknowledging it. But what exists today, where you have these AI agents that if you it's not to the point, I don't think, where if you don't have programming acumen, engineering acumen, I don't think you can really be as effective with these tools as someone with that, experience can be. And that will change. I don't by any stretch mean to say that this is a static thing. But right now, understanding how it all works is still valuable.
Absolutely.
And I do understand how it all works. And I feel like I am moving much faster than most people who would call themselves programmers are moving, because I have no hangups about becoming de-skilled by this thing. I've already de-skilled myself to whatever degree that is. And it's really not as much as people think. Like, could I still sit down and write code from scratch? Yes. Do I want to, or am I going to? No freaking way. But it's not going to happen. There's no need. And that's the thing, is like, I had no hesitation getting into this because it wasn't taking my job away. It was giving me the opportunity to do this thing and iterate so much faster than I could if I hired. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people I hired. I would have to like manage people. And it's like, no, I want to just think and tell the agent and then have it go do it. And not have it get mad at me when I tell it to, revise it 10 different times.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this deskilling, yes, it will happen. You won't. I equate it to kind of if I take 2 weeks off from playing the drums, and then I sit down and I go play a gig. No one in the audience will be able to tell that I haven't played the drums in 2 weeks. In fact, I would argue that nobody in the room will be able to tell other than one person, and that's me. I know that like my hands, like these finer motor control things, my fingers literally lose the ability to do it as well as they could if I was playing every day. And it's the same kind of thing with the programming. It's like, you become a little less sharp. But the reality is, if you had to get back into, if all the AIs got turned off or you were, whatever, it'd be like, okay, give it a day or two, you're back up to speed. You're going to be
sure.
You know.